David Young is a detective. His name starts with the letter D. He also has dreams in the dark, but dark dreams don't die. This is D4.
This is a story of a man with a very strange fate.
My name is David Young. Now I have the capability to solve even a dead-end case. I'll do everything in my power to find this D.
You really have a death wish, don't you?
Who is D?
Hex, I love it when we get to play games that are a little wacky, but this is certainly at the higher end of the weirdness scale.
Yeah, it really is.
What are you doing here?
And it was another one of those games that I went into knowing nothing about, so I had no idea what to make of it.
What the f?
You know, at first I was just like, is this just really, really bad? Or actually kind of brilliant?
Well, it's a little confusing. The tutorial sets you up for something quite serious, so you're expecting a kind of straight-down-the-line detective thriller. But as we're introduced to the character of David, the melodrama, the crazy quick time events.
You don't have to believe in Santa, but you really should believe in God.
The woman in his apartment who thinks she's a cat.
Huh?
Yeah, you realize you're in for something a little left of center. Hex, I started to get Deadly Premonition vibes from this.
Me too.
The balance of milk and butter you've achieved here. Oh my.
Needless to say, D4 is from the very same developer. Hidetaka Swery Suhiro.
So, interested yet?
Okay, well, let's try and muddle through this crazy journey. David, a private detective living in Boston, his wife has been murdered and he's on the hunt to find the killer.
The only thing I do remember are the words that little Peggy whispered as she died. Look for D.
But he also has a special gift. Using key items of evidence called mementos, he's able to dive into specific memories from the past.
Yes, but because his wife was murdered in the bathroom, he teleports between these memories through bathrooms.
Little Peggy.
I find it weird that his wife is called Little Peggy. It just seems like more of a name you'd have for your niece or your daughter or something.
Yeah, certainly not for your wife. Maybe something got lost in translation there.
Yeah, maybe. D4 is currently on PC and Xbox One. We played it on PC and the controls are really simple.
This door makes the window creak.
On PC, you only use a mouse as gameplay is entirely point, click, and QuickTime based.
Yeah, some of it seems relevant, but much of it also seems pretty pointless. Great job. You figured out that this is a box of documents.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a way of making you feel like your eyes are always open.
Glad we're on the same page.
You're constantly reading each situation, whether the things you notice are of any importance or not.
Do you want to watch too?
Usually the most important pieces of info have a QuickTime element to them anyway. You have to mouse over points to reveal these observations before that scene ends, or you'll miss the opportunity to discover that detail.
You're a United States Marshal. You're transporting a key witness.
Another thing worth mentioning is that, like a lot of Japanese games, and again, this was another parallel for me with Deadly Premonition, is the game's weird emphasis on food. Its practical application is that you have to find and eat as much as possible or David will lose energy and pass out. But there are sequences that exist almost entirely separately from any relevance to the story that are just focused on food in a really weird way.
No matter how you slice it, Boston has the best clam chowder in the world.
I've no basis for comparison.
What?
I've never eaten clam chowder anywhere but Boston.
What is that about?
It's all about clam chowder.
It's also the game's Boston setting. I picked up on David's Boston accent pretty quickly, but he also makes it very clear on multiple occasions that he's formerly a member of the Boston PD. But it's almost like the developer has this love affair with Boston and has just chosen this game to express it. There's a lot of references to classic Boston food, sport, and the city itself.
Go, Boston, go!
Nothing says Boston quite like this.
David's strange cat girl serves as a kind of in-game store, where you can buy more food and other items. It's something you kind of just have to accept and move on. After playing through the tutorial and prologue, episode 1 sees you on a plane with a strange collection of characters.
Excuse me? Shizuki, not a mannequin.
Yes, all you know is that you're looking for a suspect whose name begins with, you guessed it, the letter D. But of course, just about everyone you meet has a name that starts with D, so you'll have to focus on building your case from all of your pointing and clicking.
The more stuff you click on, the more credit points you get towards your final score. But the game also wants you to stay in character and choose the most appropriate dialogue options for David in conversation.
Almost anything is possible.
Which I didn't really like. I mean, I should be able to play David how I want to play him, not be told I haven't reached full synchronization because I chose the wrong dialogue option.
I don't want your life story.
I guess it's the game's way of trying to get you to ask the right questions to get the right information. It's about being a good detective.
Yeah, maybe. Stylistically, the whole thing is like a really strange dream. From the setting to the strange minigames you're asked to play, and there isn't a single character you meet that isn't completely bizarre in some way.
This is avant-garde!
Yeah, they're either disturbed, completely over the top, or the spitting image of your dead wife.
David.
Little Peggy?
Sir, are you okay?
Yeah, or they just speak really slowly.
You, of all people, should understand.
As far as detective work goes, I didn't get a lot out of D4's approach, and doesn't really involve a lot of input from you in terms of figuring anything out for yourself. I just made sure I was clicking on as many things as possible to get points, but I still struggled my way into episode 2. I just didn't feel like I'd done any real discovery. While David seemed to be having some kind of revelation on his own.
That's it.
You're kind of just along for the ride.
Yeah, I agree, but for me it was saved by those insane action sequences.
Are you serious?
As far as quick-time combat goes, this was seriously exciting. It was like a Liam Neeson level of airplane combat. I got shamefully sucked in by the weirdness. I just had to see it through. I tried to ride this crazy wave as best I could, but I suppose in a game this strange, it's hard to know when it's constantly drawing your attention to particular things because it's just quirky, or because it's actually going to be relevant to the story later on.
Yes, David himself actually lists chewing gum as one of his personal dislikes, yet he's always chewing it. Strawberry flavor.
Well,
What does it mean?
maybe you're on to me.
Could be relevant, or it could just be part of the game's weird food obsession. Again, these all feel like character notes the dev has included because they're all things that he likes.
I like Boston, I like clam chowder, I like fancy tequila. My game will have all of these things.
All of them! Well, I guess only playing through to the game's conclusion will explain things. Maybe.
You know you love it. You got the stomach for it.
But many who have enjoyed this game have said that their main issue with it is that there are actually only 2 episodes.
Completely unacceptable!
Well, I'm not going to say I didn't have a good time, because it certainly was entertaining in its own way, but this kind of thing isn't really why I play detective games. I want to be more challenged, more involved, not just taken on a crazy ride, so it's 2 out of 5 stars from me.
I enjoyed this a little more than you, I think, even if only on a superficial level. I just can't help but applaud that level of imagination, and I think the way they handled the action was really clever.
No hitting back at the picture.
And, like it or not, I had to see how it ended. I'm giving it 2.5 stars.
Avant-garde! Eureka!